Yo, what is good, YouTube? Welcome back to another reaction. If you're here right now, you're a legend. You know that Tom MacDonald has been popping on my feed like a crazy amount. Not only his videos, but all these other people doing reactions to his videos. And not that I like to hop on waves and all that, but I feel like I should listen to a Tom MacDonald song. At this point, I feel like I'm sleeping heavy. So shouts out to everyone who's a huge Tom MacDonald fan already. This is literally my first song that I'm ever gonna listen to from him. I've seen the title, so Fake Woke Canceled. It's, you know, I think I can kind of get a feel for what he's going to be talking about. You know, all these people thinking they know shit, but they're just talking out their ass, or cancel culture and stuff. Canceled is probably about cancel culture. Fake woke is probably about the first one, but we'll see. I'm going to take a look at it. I'm super excited to check out new artists, and that's actually something that I'm going to focus a lot more on. Gonna be doing a lot more new artists that I haven't done on the channel yet, that I haven't heard before, and all that. I do need your help though, so please comment below with some suggestions from, you know, either more Tom MacDonald that is super fire, or other rappers, artists that you want me to react to, because that's one thing that I really want to do a lot more. Let me show some love in the comments though, as we do on every video. Jerry Noche on the Chris Turner, World's Best Freestyle Rapper number 3 reaction. That's Chris Turner's title. He says, CT is good, but we all know who the freestyle god is. H-Mac better than the rest of the world, is what my man Jerry says. I tend to agree. And then on the State of the Union Marlon Craft reaction, go check that one. That shit's real. Signatunes says, thanks for breaking this one down for us, bro. Much appreciation. If you haven't heard the song, go check out that song. Marlon Craft is a monster. I just did a whole full album review on his album that just dropped last week, a few days ago. So yeah, man, let's get it. Tom MacDonald, first time ever listening to him. Fake woke, let's go.
I think it's crazy I'm the one who they labeled as controversial, and Cardi B is the role model for 12-year-old girls. There's rappers pushing Xanax at the top of the billboard.
He talking some real shit already. I mean, first of all, I'm not gonna hate on Cardi B, but I understand what he's saying in terms of like the image that they are portraying, and then the whole younger generation being caught up in it. You know, body yada yada. Was that Cardi B, or was that I think that was Cardi B. Whatever. All those songs that are TikTok trends, that, you know, people complain their girls are doing all these dances and risque stuff to. And then you call a man like Tom MacDonald controversial, which I'm guessing he talks some real shit that people aren't trying to hear, and call him controversial because he brings light to him. But we see all these people, and he says Xanax at the top of the chart. And yes, I'm gonna break this shit down in the first 5 seconds. Take a whole 30-second break on.
B is the role model for 12-year-old girls. There's rappers pushing Xanax at the top of the billboard, but if I mention race in a song, I'm scared I'll get killed for it. It's backwards. It's getting exponentially dumb. It's more difficult to get a job than purchase a gun. Eminem used to gay bash and murder his mom, and now he doesn't want fans if they voted for Trump. We're ashamed to be.
All right, that's a whole nother topic though. If he's gonna fully take a shot at M for used to gay bash and rape his own mom because he did that in songs, I think M did it in a way that actually highlighted exactly what this dude is talking about in a different way, in a much more aggressive and you know, different way, right? Talking that outwardly about gruesome things, extremely offensive, just highlights the people that actually are like that. And I think that it's just, I mean, talking shit about that without having this perspective on it is interesting, although this is my first time hearing Tom, so I don't want to take him out of context or anything. But let me know what y'all think.
Gay bash and murder his mom, and now he doesn't want fans if they voted for Trump. We're ashamed to be American. You should probably love it, because you have the right to hate it and not get stoned to death in public. As children, we were taught how to walk and talk, but the system wants adults to sit down and shut up. Cancel culture runs the world now. The planet went crazy. Label
the system wants people to sit down and shut up. can
Adults to
agree
sit
with
down
that.
and shut up. Can't
Indirectly by the actions that they want people to take is like, yo, just go to your job, just fucking go home and go to your job, go home and chill, and don't bring light to shit that we don't want you to bring light to. It's dark, or we're trying to keep it dark for a reason.
So culture runs the world now, the planet went crazy. Label everything we say as homophobic or racist. If you're white, then you're privileged, guilty by association. All our childhood heroes got Me Too'd or they're rapists. They never freed this.
If you're white, then you're privileged association. So I'm curious. Right now, he's seeming a little bit more anti-liberal.
Slaves.
Not that liberal is good or bad. I'm just saying that this is the vibe I'm getting from him. But to deny I understand throwing hate on people who are just shitting on all white people that aren't actively doing things to help the cause. I understand that, because I think if you just randomly throw hate on someone without knowing their life and whatever, just because they're white and they're privileged and they don't care about us and stuff like that, I can understand how someone can get irritated by that. But also denying the actual privilege that, like, you're shitting on the system, and then you're also shitting on people talking about the white privilege that actually does exist in a real way. And because the privilege comes from the fact that the system wasn't built on being against you from the start, and system being the US government in our current world. So there's a little bit of, to me right now so far, there's like, all right, you're saying one thing, but it doesn't really mesh with that other sentence, and maybe that's what he's trying to do. So let's keep it going.
By association, all our childhood heroes got Me Too'd or they're rapists. They never freed the slaves. They realized that they don't need to change.
I mean, Me Too is a real thing. Like, okay, I think some people do go too far. I think some people can get taken advantage of it in a way, but it's been the complete opposite direction for so long that if we overcorrect on a few people, that's not bad versus never having the overcorrection in the first place, because it's already overly against women. Anyway.
Hood heroes got Me Too'd or they're rapists. They never freed the slaves. They realized that they don't need to change. They gave us tiny screens. We think we free because we can't see the cage. They knew that race war would be the game. I'm
not hating on Tom at all, by the way, because that's fucking truth. They never ended slavery. They just removed the chains and they're trying to expand the people that are in this slavery box or subdivision.
Need to play for people to big teams. They use the media to feed the flame.
They so fake woke. Facts don't care about feelings. They know they won't tell me what to believe in. They so fake woke. Same old safe zones. They so fake woke.
Same old safe zones.
Facts don't care about your feelings.
I think it's crazy how these people screaming facts, but they fake woke. Hate their neighbor cause he wears a mask or he stays home. Has a daughter, but his favorite artist said he slays hoes. Picks her up from school, music slaps on the way home. Censorship's an issue cause they choose what they erase. There's a difference between hate speech and speech that you hate.
There's a difference between hate speech and speech that you hate. See, he's coming at it from so many different angles, which I fuck with. Because he said, you're getting mad at your neighbor for wearing masks. Like, there are people that are actually getting mad at people for not believing, but like in understanding that there's a pandemic going on. And then there's the opposite too. People completely shitting on someone without knowing what's up. I mean, I guess there's a little bit more credence on if someone's not wearing a mask in public, you being a little bit about them. But even so, there's just the quickness to judgment is the main thing. But I want to get back to the statement. There's a difference between hate speech and speech that you hate. You can hate what someone's saying. But as long as they're not, actively trying to demean and suppress or ignite other people's hatred towards a certain group just for being that certain group, which I'm defining hate speech in this sense, then like ignore it. Right? You can just ignore things. You don't need to hop on it just because you hate something that someone said. if they're not actually doing what hate speech is.
I think Black Lives Matter was the stupidest name when the system's screwing everyone exactly the same. I just want to spend Thanksgiving Day with food and my family.
The start of Black Lives Matter, the origins is what is real. And you know, I like that. I like specifically that he said, I think it's the stupidest name. Not that I necessarily agree with that sentence, but he's not attacking the movement as much, at least in that bar. He's attacking the name itself, because when you say that, when you're trying to incite equality or bring light to equality, and inherently are trying to do it for one subgroup, no matter how correct you are, no matter how many reasons there are for it, the people that you are trying to, you know, get their minds to switch or shift perspective of are immediately off-put by the fact that the name is only about Black Lives Matter. And this is not just about Black Lives Matter. This is for any social cause that isolates one person and shits on another one or subdivision. Because the subdivision that they're generally shitting on, the extremists, the extreme people within a certain group that are trying to shift the perspective of the extreme people that started that group to start anyway. That was the reason for that group to start anyway. So white supremacists, Black Lives Matter, and all that. If you're gonna try to shift someone's perspective on the opposite end of it, it's not going to happen by shitting on them. It's not going to happen by isolating yourself and trying to improve yourself, because they're already not thinking logically. Any logical thinking human will not need to be convinced that Black Lives Matter, or that, you know, their children should not be separated from their families, that women should be held to an equal regard with everything that, you know, in careers and mental capacity and whatever other things that you can think of. But Black Lives Matter completely isolates themselves, and a lot of the time shits on the people that they're trying to shift the perspective of, which doesn't do anything. What he's saying, though, is everyone is in this system. It's not just black people. It's everyone in the system is getting fucked by the government or the powers that be.
System screwing everyone exactly the same. I just want to spend Thanksgiving Day with food and my family, without being accused of celebrating native casualties. We got so divided, it's black and white and political. Republicans are bigots, libtards if you're liberal. There's riots in our streets and it's just getting worse.
He's talking the truth though. Republicans are bigots, libtards if you're liberal. Like there's no accepting of the other. There's just shitting on the opposite.
Screaming deep on the police, y'all a genius for sure. They're underfunded already, they're way too busy to work. Order food and call the cops, see what reaches you first. Segregation ended, that's a lie in itself. That was a strategy to make us think they were trying to help.
There's so much going on in this song, bro. There's so much going on with what he's saying. Because the prison system itself, and he's talking, like, the prison system itself was built on the back of incarcerating slaves that were now free, in large part. So then there's not enough police already. If the correct actions were being taken, police wouldn't be needing to fix the problems that are being fixed right now. They wouldn't need to have the aggression that they have right now, because the aggression only exists because of the threat, because the impending severe threat that they think that they will see, or they actually will see, or have been shown that they could see. So that means that they're already on high alert, and different people, you know, act differently. But then when you find a cop or whatever that has that systematic, you know, whatever and systematic could be from his family, the system within his family or his surroundings that was either racist or aggressive or whatever it may be, that makes him perceive that overly heightened sense state in a more violent way. And that's the thing. There's severe, like, very important mental training that cops need to go through, and I'm sure they do. Maybe I don't know what they actually go through, but to say But to say that food comes first when you like call the cops or order food, that's kind of, that doesn't make any point. That doesn't make any point, bro. Like, food is everywhere. You need food to live. You don't need protection from cops to live. Right? So that analogy is not doing anything much. And I love this, like, you know, back and forth that I'm having with my man here through his song, because I feel like he's saying a lot of real shit. He's saying some controversial things. He's saying some things that I necessarily don't agree with, but it's this is my favorite type of shit today.
Already, they're way too busy to work. Order food and call the cops. See what reaches you first. Segregation ended, that's a lie in itself. That was a strategy to make us think they were trying to help. They knew that racism was hot if they designed it to sell. We buy up every single box and divide us ourselves.
We buy up every single box and divide us ourselves. They said segregation ended because, and then they know racism sells 100%, bro. It sells on both ends, though. It sells on both ends. In terms of, like, a racist will, you know, be emotionally activated by some racist shit in a, bad way. But also the anti-racism is also a selling tactic to people who are trying to fix racism. That, and I will do quotes because a lot of people talk but don't actually do things about it. So yeah, on both ends it sells. And making that controversy something that sells, which, you know, the system itself built on money and profits and whatever, making something to sell being beneficial is part of the problem itself. But damn, anyway.
If they designed it to sell, we buy up every single box and divide us ourselves.
They so fake woke. Facts don't care about feelings. They know they won't tell me what to believe in. They so fake woke. Same old, same zones. They so fake woke. Facts don't care about your feelings.
We use violence to get peace and wonder why it isn't working. That's like sleeping with a football team to try and be a virgin.
Using violence to get sleep or to get peace and wonder why it isn't working. That's some fucking truth. Whoever thought that if you want something, you should do the complete opposite of it for a long ass time and then never actually achieve it and then still keep on doing the opposite of what you want, and you don't actually want it if you're... That's facts. That's super facts.
Fake woke. Facts don't care about your feelings.
We use violence to get peace and wonder why it isn't working. That's like sleeping with a football team to try and be a virgin. Politicians are for sale and someone always makes the purchase. But you and I cannot afford it. Our democracy is worthless. If a man has mental illness...
Politicians are for sale and someone's always gonna make a purchase, but we don't have the value. And it's funny. It's funny because that immediately makes me think of Wall Street, what's happened with Reddit, Wall Street, and all that shit. And how one day, what if we as a collective can make the purchase? That's, you know, and not that we should be purchasing politicians or whatever. I'm talking about purchasing good and peace and what we want, and you know, what if the people came to, and that's why I'm hopeful for the current generation that's growing up and every younger generation that has more easily readily access to the information that is on the internet, because the more informed people are, the more ridiculous everything else that's going on can start to seem, and start to, you know, you can see the ridiculousness of the system and all that. You know, videos like this weren't getting 7 million views 20 years ago because there was no avenue to have 20 million views, to have 7 million views in a week. It just didn't exist.
Tell them crazy, say it silently.
But now it does, and now everyone is learning about all these things and perspectives and can start thinking critically, and you know, peace and love is generally preferable.
Afford it. Our democracy is worthless. If a man has mental illness, call him crazy, say it silently. When country's going crazy, we accept it as society. Get sick and take a pill. When the side effects get you high, you get addicted like these rappers dying, fighting with sobriety. Censoring the facts.
You'll get addicted like these rappers dying, fighting with sobriety.
Our children into idiots.
R.I.P. to the lost ones that were born into a problematic situation that was most likely caused by the exact system that he's referring
like
to.
These rappers dying fighting with sobriety. Censoring the facts turns our children into idiots. They claim it's for our safety. I'll tell you what it really is. Removing information that empowers all the citizens. The truth doesn't damage points of view that are legitimate. They're trying to change amen to amen and women. How'd we let them make praying?
They're trying to change amen to amen and women. Oh man, a lot, you know, he's just talking about how people just stretch. Like, focus on the actual problems. Don't focus on the intricacies. That's exactly what the main problems want to happen anyway, is to not focus on the main problems. Focus on the subsidiary things, you know, that are branching out from the main issue at hand. So you're getting mad about a rotten leaf or a cut up leaf when the whole roots are ruining the ground, the soil.
A microaggression. Instead of asking God for the strength to keep winning, we cheat to get ahead and then we ask him for forgiveness. Feminism used to be the most righteous.
So is he religious? That's interesting too. That's interesting too. I mean, I could write a fucking song like this about religious systems himself, and maybe he can too, but I'm curious.
Winning, we cheat to get ahead and then we ask him for forgiveness. Feminism used to be the most righteous of fights, but these days it feels like they secretly hate guys. I don't trust anyone who bleeds for a week and don't die. I'm just kidding, but everything else that I said is right.
I don't trust anyone who bleeds for a week and don't die. Oh, I had to release the tension with some comedic flavor, huh? That's funny.
They so fake woke. Facts don't care about feelings. They know they won't tell me what to believe in. They so fake woke. Same old safe zones. They so fake woke. Facts don't care about your feelings.
You know, it's interesting because this whole song is doing exactly what the fake woke people are doing, which is shitting on the people who are doing this. Which isn't gonna really isn't gonna shift the perspective of anyone that he's actually talking about. It's just gonna anger them. And anyone who agrees with the things that he's saying is already on the side, is already, see, this is what people are not doing enough of, including what the actual people he's talking about in the song and this song itself, is you can't be attacking the people you're trying to shift the perspective of. That is only alienating them more. So it just, the whole song itself is so hypocritical to me. And I mean, I think it does need to be said too. It's tough because some things do need to be said, but with an aggressive nature, hard beat, shitting on them, like, that just does exactly what he's complaining about. So anyway, those are my thoughts on it. The fact is, regardless of whether or not I agree or not agree, anyone that makes me get this far into my thoughts and this deep into different societal issues and psychology and you know, anthropology and all of these different things that I've talked about for the past 23 minutes on a 4 fucking minute video, is fire. And I'm excited to get into similarly controversial topics through other Tom MacDonald songs. If that's what y'all want, let me know what else I should check out. In terms of rappers, in terms of songs, in terms of everything else. Like I said, I want to get to a lot of new shit. So let me know. We'll talk next time. Make sure you hit that sub, like, and all that YouTube shit. Comment your thoughts below. We'll talk to y'all next time. Peace.